gives me great pleasure to introduce as my special guest today, Gavin. How are you, mate? Last time, in fact, the only time I interviewed you was way back in London. It was very cold, and it was in a hotel room. Yeah, and we were talking about the album that you almost were wishing to go away because it had been around for so long, 16 Stone.
Right.
Razor Blade Suitcase, the new album, must be so happy the way it's gone so far.
Yeah, we got away from that sort of second record difficulties everyone seems to fall over.
Looking at the success, I mean, and you're able to now surely, going back to say with 16 Stone, the fact that an English band breaking in America first, and the success that it had, do you look back now and go, how did that happen, you know?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I know why it happened, but I mean, it seemed so unique at the time, this English band breaking in America first, which we discussed last time.
Weird things happened, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was nice, you know. And we certainly, maybe we sort of inspired. You see more English bands kind of surfing coming up in America, so it's nice because it brought some of the attention back to England when in a way people were so disinterested with Britpop around the world, or certainly in America, that it's been good, I think, to put England a bit back on the map.
With Bush, it was quite unique because, you know, it takes a lot for the Americans, especially the Americans, to embrace music from outside their country. Yeah. And, I mean, English music was having a hard time, you know, of actually breaking into the American charts, you know. But, I mean, you did that, and let alone now debuting at #1 with the new album. With America, you know, I've said it before of how bands have to do it, including Australian bands. I mean, you really have to tour America, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we just finished 5 months there, you know, sort of 100 and odd shows. So, I mean, I think there's a tradition in Australia as well. Australia's famous for its bands' ability to play. And it's something that in England, too many bands are a little bit arrogant and think they're so good already. They convince themselves how good they are. They don't really tour much. They think going to Chicago, LA and New York and someone else, San Francisco, is an American tour. So really, we changed the tables on that. Maybe U2 was the previous band from Britain, obviously Ireland,
right,
who had toured that much. But I think we probably maybe even toured more than they did.
Yeah. Well, U2 certainly were unique. I mean, now, of course, over the last, say, 2 years with Oasis, some success with Blur over there, and of course the Spice Girls, you know, with that whole Britpop thing.
I heard that Spice Girls and Oasis were going to square up in the ring and have a little fight. There's some big fights going on between those two.
Well, I only interviewed Noel just recently, you know, and he actually said some complimentary things about the Spice Girls. You know, I think they really do love them, you know, but, you know, being the Gallagher brothers, I think that they just like having a bit of a slag.
But no, good luck to them, you know, the young girls. Or are they as young as they say? That's what I want to know. I'll tell you this, right? If Jerry Spice is 24, then she's going to look fucking rough when she's 30.
On that, you've been able to divorce, the band has been able to divorce themselves away from, you know, any sort of controversy of, like, you know, Blur, Oasis don't like each other, and your influences as far as a band are concerned musically. How have you been able to do that, you know?
I think just by being on tour, keeping away from all the sort of the schmaltzy, glamorous bits of being in a band. You know, we're just too busy to I guess, to go to all the kind of parties where people get wasted and the rows start. I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's to do with jealousy. We did have a lot of trouble with a few bands that didn't like us because you know we'd done so good, which of course is pretty stupid since you could never be responsible for your own success.
Yeah,
it's up to whether people buy it or not, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, we kept away from that, and especially since Blur wanted to be successful in America, they worked pretty hard at it. They've totally been complimentary about us and chilled out. So it's fine, and you know, I've hung out with Liam a few times, and it was weird because, like, I remember Bonehead, who's the rhythm guitarist, saying to me, it's so weird because he was saying, you know, telling us how much he loved us. He's like, it's so weird. Normally he wants to fight everyone who's in bands,
sure he does.
But he likes us and was into hanging out with us, so it's fine. We just keep away from everyone and get on with what's important, which is the music.
As opposed to 16 Stone, with Razor Blade Suitcase, was there a temptation thinking, oh, look, we better play it on safe ground, and with the first album, it was so successful, right. But you haven't really gone that path, have you, at all?
I mean, the easiest, safest route would have been to go in the studio with the same guys who did the first record, Clive Lang and Alan with Stanley, because in the same way that obviously Oasis, Blur, all those people always make the same records with the same people, Stephen Street and Owen Morris. And I just wanted to mix it up, and I wanted to, you know, we'd been away on tour for so long, I thought it'd be really weird to go and do a really manicured, safe record, because it just was against the spirit of everything we'd done. And I just wanted to go in and just do a record with Steve Albini. I was pretty shocked when he said he'd want to do it, because he's so famous for working with pure underground, hardcore bands. And I had a lunch with him in Chicago with him and his girlfriend. Had a very nice Thai meal where I was too nervous to talk. Yeah, well, to eat, because it was like sit with Steve Albini, wondering if he was going to sort of pick me apart and just be like, you know. But so from that, we did a record with him, and you know, things have been really good. Like, it's nice how things work out. We've been on tour with the Jesus Lizard in America, who probably are my favourite band that there is. So I think that if you stick to it, you know, we're a good lesson in that things will come all right.
Yeah, even before the album came out, the first single, Swallowed, you suddenly realised that there was going to be something definitely different about Bush, you know? Tell me about that single and the decision to make it the first single.
Well, weirdly enough, we recorded like 16 songs with Steve, and he said that was the only song that was a turkey. And he said, don't worry about it, loads of people only have turkeys on their albums, so having one turkey out of 16 is not bad. So that gave us the inkling that that should be the single,
right?
Owing to his commercial state of mind. And it just seemed the most accessible, and plus I like the way that the voice started straight away at the top. No intro, just because that just gave a way of just... In a way, I like the idea. I remembered when U2 came out with Unforgettable Fire. No, the Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree.
And the first single off it was With or Without You. And you expect them to come out with this really massive rock track to try and what they did is they came sideways and got everyone's hearts, you know? So that's how I figured that maybe that was a better one than coming out with one of the harder tracks. Just to sort of, you know, just be not so obvious.
Would you say you personally are as adventurous, because it seems you are, as say U2, that you don't mind going out into those boundaries, and if the people like it, they like it. If they don't, well, we tried, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Because they don't like sitting into any set formula either, you know?
No, I mean, I think it would have been the quickest. I mean, it does seem that the sad route of so many bands who have a big first record, then they come out and they just try and mimic the first album. They try and copy it so that they play safe. But there's a history of testament to the fact that that don't work, you know. You've got to be continually pushing it forward, and even obviously when they do the next record, you know, that won't be Razor Blade, you know, it won't be that same thing, and it will be trying to push it forward. But I would say that I swear we won't become a techno band.
Right.
That I can say without a shadow of a doubt.
Here, I mean, you do play the big arenas. Here in Melbourne, you're going to Monash tonight, which is a small gig, you know. Do you still enjoy doing the small gigs?
I love it, because it's where I came from. We just played in Europe, where there we're 4,000 or 5,000 or some clubs. You know, I don't have any, like, pretensions of grandeur. You know, I'm in a rock band, so really I actually properly belong in clubs more than anywhere else. So actually going to the other places, the arenas, the big ones, are the sort of the other side of it. But I enjoy them all, really. We played to just recently in where the Dallas Raceway, 500,000 people for Blockbuster, which I think is probably one of the biggest shows in a while. And that was mad, but there's something different that you get from playing 2,000
Yeah.
Something different we get from playing, you know, 500. They're wicked, those shows, because that's where everyone comes from, so you can't knock it.
On a live basis, because the album had been around for such a long time, today, do you still enjoy doing everything Zen and Little Things Come Down, Glycerine? Or have they changed? Have you changed them around slightly or what?
We change them around a little bit. We try not to do too much sort of just scary, don't want to do like a greatest hits package. That's the only thing you don't want to do, but at the same time, you don't want to disappoint people who know you and like you for what you are. I mean, I know that Wire, band from England from what, 70s, late 70s and 80s, were famous for never playing their albums. They'd make a record, then when they go and play live, they play only new songs. Which is, whilst it's sort of commendable from a distance, it's probably pretty frustrating if you're a punter and you just happen to like some of the songs that you enjoyed. So I think it's a balance.
Before we go, I mean, like, because you know you spend so much time in America and then in England, etc., and Europe, the bands you like at the moment. You mentioned one. I mean, there are other bands as well that you see, you can go and see live and enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was fun being able to take bands on tour that you like. We did a few shows with Silverchair in Austria and Germany, I think. I thought they were really good. And yeah, there's a few bands out there that I really like. I love that Yellow Tango. I don't know if they're big out here, but they got a completely brilliant record. And some of the, you know, like people like DJ Shadow. I like the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I like a whole mixture. Tricky, and I'm looking forward to the whole record. I know they're making it at the moment. So yeah, there's bands I like. Shellac have got a new record coming out. Yeah, there's a few.
And tell me, like, with you were saying about the 500,000 in where was it, Dallas?
Dallas Raceway.
And then you're doing the European festivals. Do you find the audiences perceive or accept Bush in different ways? You know, when you go to these different countries.
Well, we just played the Reading Festival in England, and it's been no secret that we've had a bit of a hard time in England in terms of earlier on, because the media didn't like the fact that we had succeeded without them. And it was brilliant to play to sort of 50,000 people at Reading that were really going mad, and we got, strangely enough, we got really good reviews for it.
Fantastic.
Because I've done other good shows that I thought were pretty cool and people seem to enjoy that. You wouldn't want to show the reviews to your mum, you know, she might sort of, my mum might go and get a gun and go down and shoot someone. So it was really good because people heard so much about us that getting out there and playing to them was just really wicked. Same in Scotland, we did that up there, played Tea in the Park, and just created a bit of mayhem, you know.
Well, listen, congratulations on this album.
Nice one.
And keep touring. All right, but here it is. Gavin and the boys, Bush, with Cold Contagious.